Hello and welcome to The Extra Mile. I'm Linda Boudreaux. Our guest today is Caroline Daigle. Caroline is a local artist. She is an award-winning artist and she is 12 years old. And we're going to meet her today and find out about her art and all the different kinds of things that she's involved in. So welcome, Caroline.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
So it's good to have you here. You've been doing art now for a good little while, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So when did you start painting?
When I was 2, but when I was 8, I would do detail, and I would go to art lessons when I was 8.
But I guess since you started dabbling in art when you were 2, you don't ever remember a time in your life when you didn't love art, I'm thinking, huh? But she didn't give you oil paints back then, huh? Do you remember when you first started, or did your mama tell you how you would sit in your high chair?
My mom would tell me.
So what did she tell you that you did?
I would do mainly little birdhouses, and she still has one in her work, and it's so cute.
So what did you do? You colored it? You drew it?
I painted it.
When you were a little tiny baby in a high chair. So what would she let you work with then? I bet she didn't give you oil paints back then, huh?
These little paints, watercolor, and they're washable paints.
Okay, because, when we have a toddler, we tend to... So have you always enjoyed art then? Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Mm-hmm.
Did you think you were good? It's
kind
okay to
of.
say yes, because when you're good, you're good. It's good to be able to recognize your strengths so that you can build on them. So I guess your parents also thought you might be pretty good, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Was it your idea to take art classes or was it theirs?
It was both, because I really wanted to do it, and to me it was really fun. So both. They wanted me to take it because they thought I was really good, that I would succeed.
Okay, and so what was that like, your first art classes?
Well, there was like 8 kids or so, and they didn't really want to paint. They would want to do the crafts and everything else, because she had this little room. And so when you would finish a painting, you would go in there and you would pick a few little crafts to paint. And that's what they wanted to do.
Okay.
And she had a lot of candy. That's what they wanted to go for.
They got the candy. But what did you want to do?
Paint.
Okay, so it didn't quite meet your needs as much, huh? But you have been winning awards, art awards, I guess, most of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at this list. You got your first art award in July of 2010, so you were 9 years old. Do you remember that?
No.
No? Do you remember what it was that you won an award for?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
Okay. But it was a painting that you did?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how you got involved in all of that? It was called your Claudia painting. Do you remember that? The Claudia painting. What was that?
It was this lady, and she was abstract, and she had this different color hair, and it was not good. And I was surprised that it won. It was not good. And we still have them in my mom's room, and I look at it, and I'm like, that's not good.
Somebody liked it. Because you won second place with her in the Crowley Art Festival when you were 9 years old. And this was a painting that you painted before you even took art lessons, is that right?
When I was 8, I took art lessons.
Okay, but I think your mama said that you didn't have a finished painting for the art show, so they used one of your ones that you did even before you got started. So why did you paint Claudia? Do you remember?
I think I just looked at a picture and just painted it, and guess my mom thought it was good, so we would just put that one in there.
Well, she's not the only one who thought it was good. So when you paint, do you paint from a picture, or how do you get your ideas?
We look on the internet and find all these different pictures and just combine them together and try to think of a theme. And
so it's a very creative process. Where you begin to connect various kinds of dots, I guess. Mm-hmm. Do your parents help you, or do you do this all by yourself?
For painting, or?
For selecting the subject matter, finding the pictures and things.
My mom helps me, and sometimes my dad gives me ideas, but it usually doesn't really work out, because he wanted me to do a car, and I was like, nah.
You didn't want to do a car?
Mm-mm.
You don't do those boy things, huh? So what do you like to paint?
It really doesn't matter. It's sometimes what we find, and it just depends.
Because I've looked at some of your work, and you have an array of work. You have from the little girl to the cat to the church to the horse. I mean, you paint anything, huh?
Yeah.
Is there a difference in painting a person from painting a building in terms of your own process?
Not to me. The face on her was really hard. She was hard to get the nose.
And she has a look about her. I'm going to hold her up again, but she has a look about her like she's waiting for something. When you were painting her, did you feel that? Or did you sense something, or you just...
I think I think she would be waiting for a train, because she's by a railroad, so she might be waiting to catch a ride.
So you think she's going somewhere, huh? Do you think she's happy about going or not?
I don't think so.
She doesn't look very happy about it, does she? She has a kind of, sort of a little bit of a pensive look on her face. Now, how did you, because this particular painting, let me just say, it's won more awards than anything else. This is your #1 award winner to date, although I think we're going to talk about your horse in a few minutes. That horse might kind of step up there too. But when you painted her, did you plan on entering her into different kinds of competition, or it just kind of worked out that way?
Both. That one we knew for sure that I would win a lot of contests. That one took 3 or 4 months or 5. Pretty long.
It took a long time, huh? How do you pick your colors? Like this one has a lot of purples and grays and blacks. Were these colors in the picture that you got off the internet, or these are your colors?
I think so. And the purples I think were our choice. Me and my art teacher's choice.
Okay. So your art teacher helps you with some of this? Now, when you painted this is painted in what do you use to paint this one?
Acrylic.
Is that your favorite thing to work with? Or you
acrylic and oil.
Okay. And how much are you doing with oil these days?
I did 1 piece with oil so far. That was my last piece.
And what is it of?
It's a sailboat with 2 men fishing, and they're just like relaxing, and the waves are going up on the boat.
Oh, I bet it's beautiful.
It's big.
How big?
Probably about this big.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
And tall.
Almost as tall as you, huh? Now, how is it working with oils? Was that more fun?
Yeah, it just depends on the picture if you want to blend it or not.
Okay.
And it takes a lot of paint to put on the brush and on the canvas.
To do oils? And you can blend with oils or with acrylics?
Both.
Okay, so it's how you blend. And do you work only with a brush? Do you work with a knife or anything?
On the sailboat, I worked with a knife, and it worked out pretty good.
Was that the first time you did that? I can't wait to see that one. I'm sure it'll be on display somewhere eventually. And I had another question about her, and I forget now what it was, but it'll come back to me in a minute. Meanwhile, it's going to come back to me. But I want to talk about the horse for a minute, because that one has a great story. Tell us about the horse.
That horse, for the horse farm, we chose to do a horse because it's going to be auctioned at the horse farm in Lafayette. Okay,
so Joey Durrell asked you to do that, or it was your idea?
It was my idea to do the horse, but he asked me to do the, I don't know what it's called, but processor B in it.
Okay.
And I was the only child.
Okay. How did he find out about you?
He has my first print that I ever did in his office of a fleur-de-lis. It's pretty big, too.
How did he get that? You don't know, but he's your first paid customer, huh? And I understand from your mom that he says that he's your biggest fan. It's not bad to have him as your big fan. But the horse, so how did you do the horse? Did you use a picture, or because it's very dramatic? It's a very dramatic.
I used a photograph of a horse.
And why did you choose those colors again? Do you know?
That was on the picture.
Okay, so you just kind of followed that one. They're going to auction it. Do you know why?
I think it's to raise money for the field. I think they're going to turn it into a park.
Yeah. And so you're going to have a part in all that.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that feel good to be a part of Lafayette's history and making it a better place to be?
Mm-hmm.
So Caroline, do you think it's good for kids to find their passion and to find their talent and to express it?
It really brings you out. It helps you in life if you want to do what you want to do. And if you're really good at it, then you can succeed.
But you're good at a lot of things. I mean, this isn't all you do, is it?
Mm-mm. I do Beta Club and I do cheerleading.
What's your favorite?
I can't decide between cheerleading and painting.
Okay, so you like to be out there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this school, where do you go to school?
LJ Alamo?
And are they supportive of all that you do?
Yes.
How do they help you? How do they support you? Well, they let you out of school today, for one thing.
Miss Aloisio, she gets the word out, and we bring all of, like I was in a magazine and we show her and stuff, and she tells everybody. She hangs it up and she's like, oh, look what my student did. She's so fabulous.
How does that feel?
That feels good.
It's got to be wonderful. So they're very proud of you over there. Do you think other kids look at you and think, oh, if Caroline can do that, maybe I can do something special?
Well, they're usually like, oh my God, how do you do that? I cannot draw a stick figure. I'm like, I don't know, it's a talent or it's a gift.
Yeah, that's yours, but they all have theirs, so it's just for them to find their gift too. Is art what you want to do professionally, or it is?
I want to have that on the side and do a main job too. So, like, if I'm bored, I can still do art.
Okay. So art is what you do to relax?
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take you to paint a painting?
Usually 3 or 4 months, but the church, it took 8 months.
Okay, we're going to give a shot of that church. And so tell me about the church. Why did you decide to paint a church?
We found that one online, and I really wanted to do that one.
It kind of called to you?
Mm-hmm. And it's weird because I want to get more detailed in a picture. Like, say I did the church, I want to go even more detailed, and it's weird.
Weird how?
Like, that one's not that detailed, and then the
girl is not that detailed, you don't think? Okay.
And then the horse, it gets even more detailed, and then the church is really detailed.
So when you're talking about detail, what are you saying? What do you see when you see detail?
All the little highlights in the darkness of the piece.
Okay, okay. So you're trying to work with shadow and dimension and all of those kinds of things? And you want to do more and more of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think that your paintings are going to become more realistic or more abstract as you move forward with all that?
I don't know. I don't really like abstract because I feel like anybody could do that, even a 2-year-old. Like, they can put something on a painting and it's done, but it's actually pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. But the more detailed things that look more photographic, that's really what you're striving for, that for that level of detail, I'm thinking? So we have to look at it twice?
Yeah.
I think that could be very exciting. Do you do this at home, or do you do all this with your art teacher?
I do it with my art teacher, and sometimes if I'm bored, I go home and paint something, and it's pretty good.
But you're not an only child, so what's it like at home when you're trying to paint?
My brothers, they usually ask, they're like, oh, can you come paint my face and stuff? When I paint, they're like, oh, can you do a baseball? And I'm like, oh, come on, I'm trying to paint.
Do you ever do a baseball for them?
For Halloween, I painted my brother's face as like a scary looking theme, and he had like stitches and stuff. It was cool.
That sounds like fun. Do they ever get in your paints and mess around with all that?
Sometimes. Not really. If they need something, then they go and take a few and paint whatever they need.
Are you okay with that, big sister?
Sometimes not, because they make a mess.
Yeah. But in your family, you're the oldest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you do art and cheerleading and beta. But your brothers are involved in a lot of things too, huh?
They are involved in baseball and football, and they always want me to go play outside with them, and it's crazy. It's like 24/7, I want to go play outside.
So you have a busy, busy house.
Mm-hmm.
And what about school? How do you have time for school? How does that fit into your world?
We have to make arrangements and everything, because we have beta every month on Wednesday, so I have to stay after school and I have cheerleading.
What do you do with beta?
We do like competing against other schools, I guess. And there's some art projects, there's like competition for the best poster or something like that.
Okay. Do you compete in those?
This is my first year, and I think there's like a contest where you can enter what you did for art, and I think I'm gonna do that.
Do you know which painting you want to enter?
I think I might enter the church.
Okay, because the church has won another award. There's this book, and it's called Celebrating Art. I'm not really sure exactly where it comes from, but it's a student art book. It's a hard copy art book that is the United States and Canada, and they have, I guess, tens of thousands of entries, and then they select. It's a juried art book, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, our very own Caroline Daigle is in the top 10 for her age group. And so she is right here. There's a glare on it. Her church that she's talking about entering has been selected as one of the top 10 paintings for her age group by this particular group of editors who celebrate student art. You must be proud. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So of all the awards that you've won, and there have been, Danny's getting a good shot of it, and you can see the other kinds of art that students are doing. So, it's just, you represent us well, and I thank you for that. Yeah, this is other students' art throughout the United States and Canada, and these are all other winners. So you're just right up there with some really talented people, Miss Caroline. But you have won pages and pages and pages of awards. Like pages and pages and pages. How do you even find out about all these different opportunities? Or is that something that your mom and your teachers help you with?
My mom, and people usually do that too, because they spread the word about, and it gets to them, and they ask. And I sell my prints, and they say, "Oh, can I have one?"
So tell me about your prints. How do you sell your prints?
People just ask, and they're $150.
Okay, but do we have to come to you, or can we go on the internet, or how can we get a print?
Well, my mom has Facebook, and they usually ask
Okay.
on Facebook.
Do you know the Facebook page? Is it?
Mm-mm.
I hope it's going to be Caroline Daigle, or we can find out, and if anybody wants to know, they can contact us, and I can tell them how to get in touch with you if they want one of your prints.
Yeah, it's my mom's Facebook page.
Okay.
She puts all my paintings.
Okay, so is it just the ones we have here, or do you have others as well?
I have others, but I don't think they're as good as these, though.
These are your best ones so far. Of all of them, which one's your favorite?
The church.
The church. Is that your most recent one, too?
Kind of. I think I did a painting. It's my second painting that I did last. Like I did an oil one last time, then I did the church before that.
Okay. Now the big oil sailboat one, are you going to be having prints of that one available too?
I don't know. I think it's going to be too hard to make a print of because it's so big.
It's really big, huh? So hopefully one day you'll be having a showing, huh? That's going to be something that'll be fun. Maybe you can do it at City Hall because Joey Durrell likes you a lot.
Yeah.
That might work. And it says here that you were accepted into the Talented Visual Arts program. What is that, the Talented Visual Arts program?
It's for students who like to do art, and we do art projects, and we get out of PE every week, and we go and do art in a room.
So what are you working on now with that program?
We're trying to make a house out of wooden sticks, like popsicle sticks, and we can design it, and I'm doing a art show.
How cool is that? So that's
cool.
Fun. Now you like school, right? So what is your favorite subject?
Math.
Of all things, huh? So do you use math in art, do you think?
I don't know.
There might be a way. And we also were talking, they have a lot that they, you've done so much. But you placed first in the Louisiana Department of Transportation Aviation's art competition for your float plane. What is that, your float plane painting?
It's a float plane on a swamp, and people are getting on and off, and there's a dock, and it's just floating on the water.
Okay, so are they using your art like for book covers and things like that, some?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's mostly in the book or in a magazine.
How does it feel to see your work like in '08 magazine?
It's cool, but I don't really get it yet. Like, I don't feel it. It doesn't feel like anything. I don't know why.
But you know it's you. And that part is good. Are you like, do people like seem like they're envious or is it more like just admiring your skills? How do you feel?
They usually look at all my paintings and say, "Oh, you do such a good job. You should continue it." And they mostly ask for me to paint like a suggested painting.
Okay.
But I usually don't do that.
Okay, so you're not taking commissions yet. You do have other things to do. As you go forth, what do you see yourself doing in 10 years? What do you want all this to look like for you? That puts you at about, what, 22 in 10 years?
I want to have a house with all my paintings in it, just like every wall, one of my paintings, and I want to have an art show just with some paintings too in it.
Okay, so you want to be able to have your paintings around you and to be able to share them with everyone else. And I think whoever came up with the idea of making prints of your work and selling prints, that was a really good idea. Do you agree with that? Why do you think it was a good idea?
Because it gets my work out.
Exactly.
And it continues and goes on, and they get prints.
And that makes it bigger than just you. You know, your work is hanging in somebody else's house or in somebody's office. So they have a little piece of you in there. That's a pretty cool thing, don't you think? So I want to say again, if somebody wants a copy of one of her prints, you can just go to her mom's Facebook page, and we'll have to get that information to you. And you can look and see what all she has and place an order. Is that how that works? And I'm just going to go back in the last minute that we have and talk very briefly about this little girl right here, because there's something just really, really nice about her. So when you painted her, did you think at the time that she was going to be such a success for you?
I didn't think she would be that good. She's actually really good.
Yes, she is. What do you like about her?
I like how she's sitting all proper and waiting at a railroad stop. And there's a clock up there.
Yeah. What do you think? You think that's a big deal? You think that's important?
Maybe she sat right there because she's waiting and she's looking at the time or something.
Yeah. And your mom said you changed her shoes. You didn't like her shoes?
No.
So she is really your own creation in many ways. In the last minute that we have, what would you like other kids to know about art or following their dreams or finding their strength and living their passion?
If you feel like doing something, and even if you're not good at just keep on trying and you'll get better and better. So just do what you want to do.
Follow your heart
Mhm.
and let it be. So Caroline, the last minute that we have, is there anything you want people to know about you, your art, before we close today? No?
Nope.
Just keep painting. And we're going to keep those awards coming and continue to develop your craft. It's been so wonderful meeting you. Thank you so much for coming today and for sharing your work with us. And you really are a role model for a lot of young people, and thank you for that too.
You're welcome.
We have been talking about the art of Caroline Daigle, and if you want any more information on her work, you can get in contact with us and we'll put you in touch with her mom. In the meantime, I want to thank you for watching The Extra Mile.